Is it working? Hans Johnson here, TWF Going to do a live Q&A today for our subscribers as well as guests. This is going to broadcast on my public Facebook page. It's also actually, I think, streaming live on my YouTube channel. Pretty sure if this is working right. Anyway, we'll wait a few minutes for others to join in. If you guys want to share this with others, now would be a good time to do that. And just finalizing an order here. And we're going to do a market update, cover charts. There it is. Similar order. Thought I did. Okay, that's the one I want. Okay. Nothing like finalizing market orders right after the market's already closed and we're live while we do it. Okay. Let me see if we can get this working here. Oh man, this new system works quite a bit better. Don't need to hear myself. Okay, what's up, Tony? Good to see you. Jane, how you doing? Hopefully others on our channel are picking this up. I actually missed last week. I had a family camping trip. And it turned out to be a great trip. Sorry, just a moment. Cost, no, I don't want to pay anything. Give it to me for free. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Put it on as a GTC order. Okay. Andrea, how you doing? Good to see you. There's a slight delay apparently because when I'm looking at this screen, it's a few moments behind. We'll go ahead and let's see here. We can do a screen share. Window, entire screen. Yeah, I'll do it that way. Okay. See what this ends up looking like. I'm using a new. Okay. And this one, what does that do? Size. Is that better? Kind of? I don't know. I can do round. Okay. Well, that should work. Okay, let's see what we got here. We've had just crazy week, several weeks actually. Markets have been just grinding higher, and we can look at maybe we'll look at this one here, the ES S&P 500 futures. It's a pretty good chart. I have to see what it looks like on my new screen. I might need to make some adjustments, but hopefully you can see a little better. It's a 2-hour time frame. ES or the futures. We'll go to the daily chart here, and this was the big bear market sell-off that happened, started in February, towards the end, February 20th. Market was really kind of just topping out. It spiked after the election, and with a lot of stocks like Tesla and others getting a big pump, and then pretty much kind of built out this topping pattern here, triple top, 1, 2, 3, and then sold off. Is this coming through okay, guys? Are you guys oh, that's a good question, Andrea. We'll discuss that here in a little bit. So market sold off here, big sell off, and then a bounce. So we crashed through this 200-day moving average, this red line, bounced down, came up, retested, big, dump here. This was back in early April here, where we were just having these massive, huge, insane. We had on this day alone, the market moved 10% in one day, which is just absolutely record setting. That was after Trump's, tweet. God, I don't even remember what he said at that point, but that's the market we're in right now. A lot of insider trading going on, and clearly people that are insiders in the Trump admin camp, get word of things ahead of time, pass it on to their hedge fund buddies, whatever it is. The insider trading, guys, has just always been there. You'd only get prosecuted for insider trading if you are if you've done something wrong that the system is not. Well, if you just don't have the right contacts, I guess, or something like that. We really don't have a justice system in this country. We have, we do have one, obviously, but we have a pay to play system. So if you have enough money and you know the right people, then justice doesn't apply to you. It only applies if you if you do something wrong and you don't know the right people, and you or don't have enough money, right? So that's another thing that causes issues. So, I forgot, I have actual. Bear with me, guys. I am trying to work out a new streaming system here, so still kind of getting various settings set up and whatnot. So I'm kind of moving things around. But anyway, so massive insider trading here on this day. Whoops. Did we lose it? Why did I lose my screen share? Did the screen share go away? Yeah, it did. Sorry, guys. I don't know why that happened. But let's try this again. Okay, back to the screen share. What does this do? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, cool. So this like basically a month ago, because it's May 9th. So this activity that was going on here, just crazy volatility, VIX spiking. What did we get to on the VIX here? Let's just add it in here real quick. Yeah, so we had a VIX spike over 60, or 52, I guess, was the daily close. I think it did actually hit higher than that. We can go over to the VIX here. Yeah, it did. It touched 60, of course. Okay, so the take that off. So since that time, we kind of bounced and put in this, and then rallied up to, up above, and then pulled back again, and we've been just climbing like this. This I think was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green days in a row was another record. So this is a bear market rally. I still consider that we are in a bear market. Hopefully, those of you that are tuning in saw the first video I did that is pinned on my Facebook channel, where it was back in early March here, and I kind of laid out a thesis that I have for this year that is based on the overall geopolitical situation, the Trump administration and their various policies, the state of the economy, and a lot of the funny numbers that were pushed out by the Biden admin to elevate employment and other economic activity, other numbers. The whole combination, and the long and the short of it is that I mentioned that I expect that this year 2025 will be a bear market year, and that there is also a political reason to get it done quick, because the quicker it's done, then you can blame it on Biden, blame it on the last administration, which they've already done several times and are doing, but then they take credit when the market goes up. But if you're an incoming new administration, you have to kind of see the politics of it. You have to. There's a massive re-engineering and reset going on right now with the global trading system, with the tariffs. You got India and Pakistan now in a war that conveniently started literally right after Apple announced that they were moving their iPhone production to India. And I think it was like the next day or the same day or something, there was a terrorist incident, and so that's going on. You have the latest. You have a so-called agreement with the U.S. and Ukraine now for mineral rights. That's going to advance more than a ceasefire, an actual settlement agreement, because so you guys need to understand that wars have nothing to do with right and wrong. They don't have to do with overthrowing dictators or helping people that are oppressed or anything like that. If that was the case, we would, there's bad stuff going on this planet all the time in all kinds of places. Wars are 100% enforcement of commercial contracts. It just so happens that post-World War II, the United States, with the Bretton Woods Agreement, the U.S. dollar, reserve currency standard, and other factors, the United States became the primary, and almost you could argue the sole enforcer of global commerce, global trade. Right? This is just historical. Trade happens on the oceans, folks, and so if you have pirate activity, if you have trade being disrupted, that's bad for profits. It's bad for people. It's just not a good thing. So, the Navy is really all about, securing the seas, securing trade passageways, things of that nature. So this is being reset right now. It's being renegotiated. How it all plays out, we don't know. But I made the point, I guess, a month and a half ago now, when this sell-off started, that I did expect this to happen, and that it was politically necessary that it happened sooner rather than later, so that you can essentially let the dust settle and try to rebuild the market, rebuild the economy in time for the midterms. So that's the political part of it. The market was due for a correction. Federal Reserve last week decided they were going to leave the rates the same, not going to increase them, not going to lower them. Trump admin wants lower rates. They want a stronger, they got to roll about $9 trillion in U.S. Treasury debt this year. And do you want to roll those at, low rates or high rates? So that's kind of, what's going on. But so here we are, big climb out of this hole here. And, we had, a couple weeks ago done a call with our TWF Formula Pro members, our monthly group coaching call. And, we went over a number of stocks and a number of positions, some of them that we hold, some, if you're a pro member at truewealthformula.com and you upgrade to a pro member, then, we have a whole bunch of derivative-based, high yield, very, very high yield stocks and funds that we use to really juice our portfolios and generate insane income. In fact, I was just seeing a few of our members yesterday that had posted some updates, and a bunch of them are now their freedom and their lifestyle numbers, which if you're a member, you get access to our Wealth Builder app that helps you to do your own financial planning. We have a team here in-house that will do onboarding with you. They'll do calls with you. They'll help you get your data and your numbers into the software, because the software will tell you what your financial future is. It will actually predict. It's the only software of it of its kind in the world. Here's a look at a training video that I did just recently. But the software lets you set up budgeting. We budget based off of ratios, not dollars and cents. It will break down your capital allocation ratios based off of your existing balance sheet. We teach you and show you the entire methodology on how to restructure your balance sheet for cash flow. Most people have your balance sheet is everything you own plus or minus everything you owe. And people get focused on net worth numbers and things. And the long and the short of it is that most traditional financial planning and modern portfolio theories, it's got some good stuff in it, but there's a lot of garbage in it, guys. There's a lot of it is just selling the system, and certified financial product salespeople is what I like to call it. But so we have a little bit of a different approach. We like to take the approach that the wealthy use. Number one, build a base of cash flow assets. Number two, use rules-based systems for your decisions, for your money decisions. Number three, speculate strategically. And what happens is most people do the opposite. They have balance sheets stuffed with of negative cash flow assets, speculations that they think are investments because somebody told them it was a good investment. But it's not an investment, because if you think that if you're holding an asset because you hope it goes up in value, in price, we call that a speculation, because you don't control the market, you don't control price. And if you're holding a speculation, you should learn to trade. You need to learn how to read a chart. You need to understand price action, because you can hold something that goes up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times, and then it crashes. And, who wants to ride something to the moon just to land back down in the sewer, And so those are speculations. Every market booms and busts. The real estate market booms and busts. The stock market booms and busts. Bond market booms and busts. Currencies boom, boom and bust. Sectors boom and bust. This is just how it works. This is how it's worked since the beginning of time. So we call investments, we designate as cash flow assets, or cash flow assets we designate as investments. If you're holding an asset because of what it pays you to hold it, rental income property, if you buy it right and you are good and you enjoy the management process of real estate, is a good investment long term. Dividend stocks, we love dividend stocks. There's other stuff, licensing, intellectual property. You can have a passive limited partnership in a business that's already profitable, where you're receiving distributions. So there's different forms of cash flow based investments. But we love dividend stocks because a 5-year-old can do it. We have stuff we call them automatic paychecks. And there's a particular type of high yield dividend stock that is legally structured to distribute 90% of its profits. These are often REITs, real estate investment trusts, MLPs, master limited partnerships in the energy sector, and business development companies, which are often involved in financing small businesses or businesses that are not publicly traded and don't have access to the public capital markets. So they rely on private equity and private funding and things like that. So, but we love these high yield dividend stocks because, like I said, a 5-year-old can do it. Some of them are $5, $10, $20 a stock. So think about this, your whole life you've been told, hey, real estate. Okay, how much capital do you need to get involved in real estate? Pretty significant amount. For many years, it's been a good amount of time since we've had a real crash or correction in the real estate market. And I think that we're seeing that correction now in many markets, definitely markets in Texas, Austin, Florida, Miami. Others around the country are going into bust mode right now after the big boom that happened during COVID, during the mass COVID migration and relocation because of stupid, idiotic policies in California, Michigan, New York, and other places where they shut down schools, shut down parks, shut down, did all of the insanity. Places like Texas and Florida were still open for business. You had a lot of people move to these places, and now the government and other places are mandating come back to work, right? No more work from home. So anyway, so real estate, you need a lot of capital. It's more like a part-time business. The dividend stocks that we use are totally hands-off. They are, more than anything, really, they are really the only type of passive income. Real estate's not passive income. People call it passive all the time. You're either managing that property or you're managing a manager. Again, this isn't a knock on real estate. Real estate's fantastic. We've made millions of dollars in real estate. We've done very well with real estate. But for me at this point, I love dividend stocks. Just really like the how easy they are. Okay, let me reduce this. Try to get this thing. So, this is our software, Wealth Builder. This is the dashboard. Like I said, it'll help you set up your budgeting, allocation ratios, your liquidity. Your tier one is liquidity. These are low volatility. These are cash and cash-like assets that have either no or low volatility. Tier two is cash flow assets, like investments, like I said. And then tier three are speculation. So like I said, most people have balance sheets that are just stuffed with tier three speculative assets that are costing you money. Perfect example, land, right? If you hold land, it's not productive. You get a tax bill every single year. It's also a liability. Somebody steps on your property and trips and falls, they can sue you, right? If I was telling a story recently about some land I have out in California, or had sold it. And there was a windstorm that came through, and it, knocked down a tree that fell on my neighbor's property and fell on part of his roof and his truck. And then I had this attorney say, no, you don't have to, we can win this. It's a act of God, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? That guy's insurance company was fighting the claim and this and that. And I told my attorney, I said, look, man, I said, I'm just gonna pay this, because by the time I'm done fighting this with you, I'm going to end up paying you the same amount. And, the initial dispute was who should pay, the insurance companies and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, no, it's just stupid. So there you go. I mean, a lot of things that are on your balance sheet that you think are an investment are really a liability or negative cash flow or speculation. So we really focus on, with our subscribers, helping you to understand these different relationships and ratios, and how to restructure your balance sheet for cash flow. We help you to identify your freedom number and your lifestyle number. Freedom number. Now this is a sample page here. Your freedom number is, we define that as based off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Your food, clothing, and shelter. Okay. In other words, if you couldn't work for some reason, whatever, disability, whatever the reason is, what is the bare essentials that you need to cover your nut? Okay. Not talking about all the luxuries and all of that. That goes in your lifestyle number. Lifestyle number could be travel. It could be shopping, entertainment, it could be all the fun stuff. But freedom number, the acid test for freedom number is what I call the ancestor test. If you say, well, I need this in my freedom number, and this is really the foundation of our whole system, guys, because we show you how to structure a portfolio so that you can hit that freedom number really quick, and get it knocked out. And once you have that number, you're financially independent. Again, you're not living large and flying around the world, but you can walk the world and be fine. Your core needs would be taken care of. And so the ancestor test is, if you say, well, I need this and I need that and blah, 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 because you and I have been programmed in our modern world that a lot of things are needs, and they're really not. They're luxuries. And so the ancestor test is just, you have an imaginary conversation with your ancestors. You sit down at the table and you try to convince them all the needs that you think you have, that they're really needs. and your ancestors are just going to laugh in your face. They're going to laugh you out of town for being such an idiot and such a dumbass for thinking that you need things. They're just not going to understand it, right? And guess what? We are in a era in time of peak softness, peak luxury, all kinds of nonsense. People get on social media and whine and cry all day long about all their problems that happened to them when they were a kid or when they were this, and they just rehearse it over and over again. They get all kinds of attention and views and clicks and all this and that. And we just live in this really wild, interesting time. And in the grand scope of things, with these times don't last very long. Okay, I'll just put it that way. So anyway, so that's True Wealth Formula, guys. That's our Wealth Builder software. Once you do this, and like I said, we have a team here. If you're a pro member, that will do onboarding and check-in calls and whatnot. I do a monthly training call. We go over this stuff, but this is the financial planning. This is really for do it yourself. If you have debt, you can pay off debt. You can do massive debt acceleration, which I think I have an example in here. I may or may not. I don't remember. Our software lets you run simulations. So if you are thinking, well, should I buy this property or that property, or should I do this stock or that stock, or what is this? Because all money decisions, guys, is an A-B decision. It's a what if. When you go to put gas in your car, that's an A-B decision. Should I go to this gas station or that gas station? You're making the decision based off of all kinds of variables. How far is it? What's the cost of what's the price of gas? Should I put leaded or unleaded or super or whatever? When you go to a restaurant, you go out to eat, that's an A-B decision. Which restaurant do I want to go to? What kind of food do I like? You look at the menu, right? You order wine from the wine list. You're making decisions constantly throughout your entire life. Decisions don't happen in a vacuum, and money decisions don't happen in a vacuum. And so our software is the only software in existence for everyday people. That is, there are some proprietary software like this in custom in-house solutions for high net worth individuals, where there's a $25 million minimum and or $10 million net worth minimum and a $25,000 onboarding fee to run these kind of calculations. Okay. That's what Wealth Builder does. And our subscribers get access to it for free. But what you can do is you can run different simulations, and it will literally, it will tell you how to pay off your debt. And there's a whole module in here, and you can sort debt payoff by different variations and different variables. It will also tell you how to restructure your balance sheet for cash flow. It will give you different scenarios based off of you can plug in your a portion of income every single month that we call your unearned income, or our ND1 rules-based system for budgeting. And it will automatically add that into your investing every single month. So what we like to do is to set up rules, and the software gives you all the knobs and all the buttons to turn to see what that looks like, to build out a plan. And then you set those rules up, and then you automate it. You automate your bank transfers, you automate everything. There's a couple things you can't automate, but in this modern world, you want to be automating everything that you can, right? If you have real estate assets, you can click this button, and it looks like we don't have any real estate in the balance sheet. But if I had, let me see what I got here in the balance sheet. I do have here. So let's see. Let's take this off. I do not want new investment going into my real estate, because you can't really see it right now because of this screen. Let me see if I can move this thing somewhere. Move it up. Does that work? No, I just screwed it up. What's happening here? Okay. Mirror, camera, replace. Um, Sorry, guys. For some reason, it muted me. So what I'm trying to do here, if I can get it to work, is show you. Here you go. Okay, down here. All right. Can you all hear me still? I hope so. Okay, so we want to exclude. This is real a rental house, and it's a 200,000 value. It's got some numbers put in here. It's yielding about 1,500 a month. Pretty good, right? So bought it a long time ago and paid off the debt or whatever. We're gonna reinvest, but we're gonna reinvest that into other assets. We're gonna change that. And because we can also use if you have a rental property, you want to use that income to pay off and accelerate your debt, you can do that. And you can see what that looks like on your debt payoff numbers and how much faster it gets you to pay off your debt. But in this case, we're going to move it into other assets. We're going to exclude this asset, this rental property, from further investment. Okay. Because think about it in real life, guys. If you have a rental property, you don't want new funds going in to that rental property every single month. That's impossible. You can't do that. You can't buy a fraction of a rental property. With stocks, you can. And so this is why we like to set this up. So the software and with our team and what we show you how to really optimize these things. Okay. And if you're brand new, you get started, we'll show you the whole thing. We'll show you how to do the whole deal. But in this case, I'm going to update this asset. And then I think this one needs an update too. This is rental house 1 that's pulling in 1,000 a month. And we're not going to accelerate the debt. You can accelerate the debt if you want. We're going to bring it back into the MOAC here. And we do want to exclude it. So now if I go back in here to my compound return, you can see the numbers are updating. Things are starting to change. I can add my earned income here. Now my income from the rental properties is showing up as my unearned income because these are assets that are producing cash flow. Earned income is the money I work for. The key to wealth is to get your money working for you instead of you working for your money. Let me go ahead and see if I can add myself back onto the screen. Other way. Let's see. Whoops. What's going on? How do I flip it? Which one is the primary? Here. And then, darn it. Well, I don't know what's going on. Fix the view. Okay. Sorry, guys. Trying to get my screen back on here. What in the world? Okay, guys, I'm still here. I'm just fooling around with these settings, trying to make this screen work. There it is. Okay. All right. So now we're here, and we can, again, here's the income I worked for, my earned income, money that I worked for. And then the unearned income is coming from those 2 rental properties. And I can see those right here listed in the software, right? If I want to view those. But anyway, we're going to save those changes. And I've got pretty high, really, really high freedom numbers in here. So let's change this. Let's maybe your numbers are a little more realistic, and you don't have such extreme numbers like I do here. And let's see if that worked. Might need to do an update on the screen. And we go back. You can do your planning here. Let me check my freedom number. Yep. Save it here. And save changes. Okay. No, darn it. Still not updating, sucker. Okay. All right. Don't worry about it. All right. So here we are. And I can see now the stuff that's in this list. Okay. This is $500,000 in balance sheet. I have a high yield. This would be like our automatic paychecks portfolio. I have the 2 rental houses basically feeding this. Okay. And you can see what the income. Oh, I'm on month. Let me change this. That's a pro member only feature. You could do monthly calculations. It's pretty freaking awesome. But this is what this turns into. So if I take this out, so you can do, just like I said, endless amounts. So now I'm removing the 2 houses, and you can see here what this is just this portfolio. Let's look at what this has. $100,000 in value, and it's yielding 10%. So that all looks right. I like the way that looks. And this asset here, it'll show you every single year, basically the income that's going to be generated. In this case, it is coming from both the income from the rental houses and this high yield, what we call automatic paychecks portfolio here. Okay. Okay. So all of them are kicking off income, but the only one that is compounding right now is this one. Okay. So this is what's really cool. If I'm not adding anything at all, this is what I got. And again, the software is focused on income. It'll show you your balance as it's going up, but it's really designed to show you your income. So here I have really just this is just straight income. I'm not reinvesting it. I am reinvesting this. If I want, I could. If I don't want to even see what that looks like, I could do this. Okay, so now nothing's being reinvested, and it's going to end at the same place after 20 years of the income. So you can see in this case, every single month, it's 40,000 between the 2. Okay, the three assets. So this is if you're not reinvesting anything, right? So how many times have you tried to make decisions on, and going back to the markets here, we have a strategy. We have a master strategy that we follow throughout this whole thing, right? We love it when markets are selling off. In fact, we just released, this is something that we've been testing and that's been in development for, yes, the tools, all of this, you can use it on the iPhone app. I just saw Andrea's question there. That's a good question. The market, we love it when the market's selling off, guys. So for the last, I'd say 2 years now, I've been testing a signal, an algorithm, and we just released it to our pro members. And there's an email that I'm sending after this live here that will go out to all premium and pro members, where you can sign up. The email will be an announcement to everybody, but to get this, you need to upgrade to be a pro member. You can sign up for alerts, and this will send you an email every time our buy the dip algorithm, and it's based off of the VIX, which is often referred to as the fear gauge for the market. When that fires, you just need to buy, and we give you the watch list. We give you the whole strategy in our automatic paychecks course and training that we just dropped, a brand new updated course. And you can get this. If you're not a member, go to truewealthformula.com and sign up, do the upgrade to pro. Don't fool around. Guys, over the years, I used to only allow a certain amount of people in the pro membership. But over the years, I saw too many premium members that their progress had stalled out because they weren't getting access to a lot of the stuff that we do for our pro members. They weren't staying as motivated. They weren't plugged in as much as they could be. Maybe it was just because it was too cheap. It's like $29 a month to be a premium member. It's $99 a month to be a pro member. So even as a pro member, this is really cheap. And this new alert system, this new algorithm that we've launched, and that I'll send the email out today. I'll give you guys information on it. It will pay for your pro membership many times over. Okay. I mean, it will literally tell you, and it fires on average at least once a month in a normal market. Okay. So it will literally tell you when to buy. All right. And we tell you what to buy and the whole thing, like I said. So, but going back to the markets, But this is what a lot of people do. They have a couple rental houses and maybe they have some stocks. Uh, who knows? And they have these assets here. And then so here you have this income. That's kind of nice. But what we do is we say, look, we can do a lot better. We don't need to be, my assets are growing. That's nice. At the end of 20 years, I have a nice, balance here. But look at the income. The income's stagnant because nothing's being reinvested. We're not actually growing anything here. Okay. So there's a number of things that we can do. The first thing is we want this to be on drip, on reinvest income, compound. Okay. And when we update that, it's going to go from 40,000. The first year, small little increase there, but look what happens at the end of the 20 years. Now we're at 100,000 a year. Do you think you can live off 100,000 a year? Yeah, a lot better than 40,000. Okay, same assets here in the mix, right? Then we go in, we say, look, what if I add to it every single month and do what we teach in True Wealth Formula and actually follow the system? Put my a minimum of 10 to 20% of my unearned income, throw it in. And where do I want it? I want it to go into these high yield stocks and funds because they're easy to buy and they compound like crazy every single month, guys. What would it be like? What would your life be like if every single month you got a raise and the raise had nothing to do with how hard you worked that month, right? That's what we show people how to do. We show you how to convert your earned income into unearned income, which is money that works for you instead of you working for your money. And we show you how to set it up in a way to where it is giving you a raise every single month. Okay. Let me tell you something. You want to know how to do that, right? Like you do not want to let another year or even a month go by in your life without knowing how to do that. And it's so simple. I can't believe how hard the experts make this, guys. But over the years, we ended up building out this software because we said, you know what? We need a way to actually do the models and to do the projections and to predict the future. So this software like I said, it is the only software that exists out there that can predict your financial future. You can plug into if you have a small business, you can plug it into your balance sheet. You can plug in those numbers. You can see what happens if you either eat that seed or plant that seed. By eat that seed, the business is profitable. You are living the good life. Plant it. You take some of that money and you add it to our automatic paychecks portfolio. So here in this case, we have some earned income, money I work for. We add that in. What happens here to our numbers? We went from 40,000 a year in passive income. I can close this now because we're not looking at that anymore. And instead of ending at 100,000, we're now at 242. Okay, that's just by me adding 2,000 a month, right? And I'm just using random numbers. You can change these numbers. You can make it anything you want. Now I'm going to take those two rental properties that are kicking out 2,500 a month, and we're going to throw that in. So now what we're doing is we're starting to very strategically optimize the balance sheet for cash flow, okay, and to really set things up to be able to compound because these automatic paychecks automatically compound every single month. Okay. If you set it up the way we tell you how to set it up, no middlemen, you have a brokerage account to do it. But they don't charge you when you set it up the way we do it. There's no middlemen fees. Okay. So if you've ever dreamed about being smart enough to know how to manage your own money, that's what True Wealth Formula is all about. Okay. If you're comfortable and you're okay with working your entire life and trusting some expert to manage your hard-earned money for you, albeit, have at it, go for it. And there's some good advisors out there, but there's a lot of terrible ones. And so all we're saying is you want to be educated. I think in my mind, as a former business owner, I grew up on the streets, grew up poor and everything like that, worked my tail off. My wife and I built businesses, did very, very, very well, helped a lot of people, gave away millions and millions and millions of dollars to help, abused women and children and orphans, paid millions and millions and millions of taxes to this corrupt, evil government that rapes and pillages and robs. And, we have the Epstein list that everybody's been waiting for. We still don't know. They know who's on that list. I mean, these are criminals. Okay. But that's just the system we live in. It is what it is. So this skill set that we're talking about with True Wealth Formula, with the Wealth Builder app, with the automatic paychecks, with the new site we have at TWF Systems, it's a freaking game changer. If you knew how to do this when you were young, if your ancestors understood this, your life, it would be so different. And so anyway, now we've added in this rental property and we're really starting to optimize this balance sheet for cash flow here. And now look at it. Now we're ending, look at this, 420,000 in passive income. Okay. And by the way, the actual balance sheet now from going from like 2 million is now over 6. So do you have actual an increase in value? Yeah. But look at the annual income, 420,000. Okay. This is the exact opposite of what your financial experts and all your retards out there tell you to do. They tell you to invest in the stock market, and when you get close to retirement, then put it into bonds. Well, that didn't work very well in 2022. Bonds crashed big time. Okay. That's modern portfolio theory. In other words, at the end of the day, you're going to just sell off the underlying asset. Well, okay, that works great as long as you're in a bull market. What if you're in a bear market? You want to have to sell when a market's down like this, right? I mean, let's go back to like if you're approaching retirement, and let me go to a weekly chart. It'll be a little easier to see. Okay, this is the S&P 500, the futures market, same thing. And this is the .com. Let me fix this a little bit. This is the .com bust right here. Market crashed. Then it climbed back up. And then this was the 2008, 2009 global financial crisis. Crashed, bottomed out here. Okay, this is known as the lost decade. And guys, there's been many lost decades throughout history. It's not a one-time event. So let's say you worked your whole life, you have your savings, you've done all the right things, you did everything the experts tell you, and then the market crashes. You're supposed to retire here, but you can't because your portfolio is cut in half. And they say, well, don't worry, just hold, just wait. Okay, fine. So you work longer and you keep working, and oh, great, I'm finally back to even. And then it crashes again. It took 14 years to get back. Stocks like Microsoft, Cisco Systems, others that were the blue chips of this time period, they didn't get back to break even until 14 years, guys. And this is going to happen again. Okay. When that happens, I don't want to be in a situation where I have to sell the underlying asset at half just to pay bills, just to eat. And so the reason why we love automatic paychecks is because for a lot of reasons. One, I don't have to sell the underlying asset to pay my bills, which means I can ride this storm out and I can wait. Number two, if I don't need the money, it's even better because I'm averaging in and I'm locking in even higher yields, which completely flips the psychology. In True Wealth Formula, when the market's selling off, we're freaking excited. We are partying. We are having a blast. And with our new algorithm, it's called the Lazy Predator. You want to know why it's called the Lazy Predator? Let me find. Okay. The reason why it's called the Lazy Predator. Okay. And this, I'm going to send an email out here on this shortly. Okay. This is our new social learning platform. You get access to all of our courses, everything. If you're a pro member, you can sign up for this now. Okay. To everything, there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the sun. This is the Hans Johnson version, guys. A time to be fearful and a time to be greedy. Okay. You got to love Ecclesiastes, man. If you haven't read Ecclesiastes, you're not living. Okay. It was written by the most powerful, wealthiest man on the planet at that time period, and his wealth calculated in modern times would still be richer than anybody else alive. Okay. The reason why we call it the Lazy Predator, this is the reason. Think of a lion, king of the jungle, right? He hunts the weak when it's easy and the odds are in his favor. Okay. Lions aren't running around every day trying to pick up squirrels. Are you kidding me? No way. Okay. Then he feasts like a king on the spoils. Okay. That's what this algo does. It makes you a king or a queen, rich and happy because you took action when others were fearful. Guys, this is a game changer. Okay. And we've been working on this for a long time. But guys, because of this system, because of having the wealth builder and being able to run numbers and being able to understand how compounding actually works. Most of you, if I asked you to explain compound math, you could explain it. And then if I asked you to do it, you have no idea how to do it until you got into True Wealth Formula. You've lived your entire life. The average person's lived their entire life knowing what compounding is and not having any clue how to actually do it. We show you how to compound in every month on autopilot. Okay. And when the market's selling off like this, you get excited because you're actually getting raises. You're actually making more money. You're locking in higher yields. Okay. So this is what our members are doing, and they're just kicking ass, man. They're just like, and so we are building out with True Wealth Formula being our educational program, with Wealth Builder being our software that we've invested. I don't even want to say so much into, guys, that does insane calculations. Okay. You could have a balance sheet with 100 items on it: property, businesses, corporations, LLCs, stocks, bonds, oil wells, cattle. You can track cattle on it. Okay. You can track freaking business activity. You can track all your liabilities and debts and accelerate debt payoff. It'll show you how to do that. Okay. War on debt, pay off the debt, snowball, avalanche, all the different formulas. You can click the button and it'll do all that math for you. Right. Cash flow assets, non-cash flow assets, literally everything. You can put it on that balance sheet, and this software will do the calculations. It will do the math. It will predict your financial future. Okay. So we have True Wealth Formula. If you're not a member, you need to go here. You need to put your name and email here, and then get to the second page, which is where you will actually sign up. Listen to Lenny's story. He just posted an update the other day. They're absolutely just killing it, right? He's in his 5th year. He started during COVID. So this is the kind of stuff we have going on, and now we have all the new courses that we put in. There's a course that is available for our pro members, what I call the Bitcoin infinite money loop strategy. It will show you how to, once you have your account set up and you are learning how to do the foundation. Remember, what's the foundation? Build a base of cash flow assets. What's number 2? Use rules-based systems. What's number 3? Speculate strategically. We show you how to do that here in the advanced courses, right? We show you how to buy Bitcoin for free. Anybody want to do that? Yeah, Bitcoin's doing really good right now, right? It's been handling really well. So much stuff in here, okay? This is our new automatic paycheck course, and it shows you how to buy, gives you the whole watch list, shows you how to set up your account properly, how to get a raise every single month on autopilot. Just tells you the best time to buy, how the risk management, how to time your buys, what to do in a bear market, like where we're in right now. Okay, so just so much going on right now, and guys, we're just getting started. Lots and lots and lots of cool stuff happening. But if you want to get access to this, you just need to, you can wait for my email today, or you can just upgrade to pro, and then you saw where I showed you how to navigate there. So back to the markets, we're looking at this weekly chart, and right now we have a lot of positive momentum, right? I mean, we bottomed out basically a month ago, and here we are. But guess what we're pushing up against right now on the daily chart? we are basically right now bouncing between the 50 DMA, 50 daily moving average, which is the green line, and the 200 day up here, which is the red line. Okay. And, on the SPX, which is the cash market. So yesterday we pretty much got real close. We got within 20 points of the 200-day moving average. The market is building pressure right now to challenge that. Okay, there's an old saying: nothing good happens below the 200 DMA, unless you have automatic paychecks. Then we love it. And so the 200 is a big deal, right? The market has to clear that hurdle for this rally to continue. It not only has to clear the 200 DMA, and if you follow this stuff, you should pay attention to this. It's got to get above it, and then it has to back test it, because it is very common for the market to break through a resistance zone like that and then fall back under it. It's called a false breakout. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be looking at next week. I'm going to be watching the markets to see if they, when this 200 DMA is tested. We have the 50 down here as support. So you're going to see the market just like it's been doing the last week. It was bouncing between, once it got above the 50 DMA, that's providing support. Okay. And so, that's where we're at right now. You got some good upward momentum on other indicators, but you also have some of them that are starting to show some weakness. And so, next week we're either going to push through that 200 DMA or we're going to roll over again. And, we could be chopping around here for the next couple of weeks. We'll have to see. But I don't know if we're done with this correction or not. It's, politically day by day. And, for years, guys, this market has been pumping by, a lot of liquidity, a lot of Federal Reserve action and spending. The government's not going to stop spending, guys. I'm sorry to break it to you. Doge is not going to. Their primary, the cutting wasteful spending and fraud is the ruse for the public. Okay, I'm just telling you flat out. Government's not going to cut. And look at Congress. Congress is they're just a bunch of. Why they call it DC? It's the District of Criminals. And so, they're not going to stop spending. So Bitcoin is kicking ass, right? I mean, it's 103,000. I mean, really showing some strength. It pulled back on the initial sell-off, but since the market bottom, it's really performing. Why? Bitcoin is a liquidity asset, guys. It follows the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ it flows based off liquidity. So the Federal Reserve is buying treasuries right now. So there's stuff going on in the background. Okay, so this is kind of where the markets are at, and I'll go ahead and we'll see what kind of questions we have now. Let's bounce through here. Andrea says, I don't understand why the VIX and the market both down today. Yeah, great question. The VIX and the market have about an 80% correlation. They will not be, so the VIX spikes when the market's selling off. I'm not going to get into all the technical nuance of what the VIX is and what it is. And if you're a member, we have training and all that kind of stuff that you can go through. But typically they're very inverse related, okay? But not all the time, not 100% of the time. And the market really didn't sell off much today. We can look over here at a smaller time frame, and the market's. Oh, let's see here. Let's look at this 30-minute chart. So here's where. See if it updates. Do it like this. Okay, this is the opening candle at 8:30 my time, Texas time, and this was the close. The market went nowhere. It really, and you can see it was down 4 points today. The VIX was down 0.58. The VIX is down 2.58%, market down 0.07. So why is the VIX coming down? Because look at what the market's been doing. The market's doing nothing for the last several days. So when you have this range, look at this range right here. Look at how small these candles are versus this. Look at these freaking bad boys. Okay, let me hide this. Okay, look at these bad boys right here. That is crazy land. When you have these gap downs like this, and you have this kind of range, that's going to cause the VIX to go freaking nutso, and that's why it was so elevated. But and the gaps will cause it too. But look how calm it's been. Okay, it's compressing right now. So the VIX is coming down because the VIX needs new fear to stay elevated. And so you can even have a down day in the market where it's not down by much. Like today, it was like basically it's a flat market day. But and the VIX will decrease. So it's all relative to where is the VIX at and where has it been. Okay. But no, it will be inverse related about 80% of the time. 20% of the time, they're going to move in the same direction. Okay, that's a good question though, and it does kind of like trip people sometimes. But okay, Alan, watching from USA North, brother. Oh my God, Trump is such a troll. I'm sorry, my Canadian friends. Trump's awesome, man. You know what? He's always he's negotiating and he's creating pressure and creating chaos, and that's how he gets things done. And he's offensive and he just says stuff and says crazy stuff, like Governor Trudeau. At least you guys don't have Governor Trudeau anymore. But I don't know about the new guy. I don't know if the new guy is going to be better. He's still a wokey, still pushing nonsense, stupid policies. These governments, they're taxing people too much. The middle class is hurting, getting crushed. And, there's going to come a time where there's going to be a real reset. I don't know there's an attempt at that right now. Somebody recently asked me some questions and, about what kind of chances the Trump administration has at successfully they're doing a lot of really, really, really good stuff. So I can be kind of, a bit critical about certain things, like not getting the Epstein files actually released. They're not going to release those files, guys. You got the CIA and Mossad involved in that. That was a honeypot sting operation to control politicians and powerful elite and Hollywood elite. You have the P. Diddy files that was the same. Pam Bondi's just making stupid promise after promise, update after update, getting on Fox News, trying to look, looking really tough, and everybody's tired of it. It's like put up or shut up. They're just gonna keep feeding us small little bits and pieces. They're not actually gonna. They already know who raped little kids, guys. They already know it. Okay. So, that evidence has been there for a long time and, goes real deep, guys. Okay. So anyway, but, whether or not Canada is going to become part of the United States, I have no idea. Maybe it would be good for Canadians. I'm not Canadian, so I don't know, Then there's Greenland. I guess we got the Panama Canal back, apparently. Karen Malloy is so helpful. Yeah, Karen Malloy is a badass. She's amazing. She's on our team, and she's doing Q&As now every single week for our clients, for our subscribers. She's doing calls with you guys. If you're a pro member, you can get a call scheduled with her anytime to review your numbers inside a Wealth Builder, to get opinions on things. We're not licensed financial advisors. We don't give investment advice. I'm a private business owner and private investor, and I've worked very closely with Karen, and she's a smart cookie, and she's freaking amazing. And she understands the software. She understands TWF, and she's helped a lot of our clients. So, I think, again, we had to move. We were doing these calls for premium members at $29 a month, hours and hours and hours, and we had to move that up to pro members. So, again, for $99 a month, guys, we could add up the value of everything we're doing, and now we just added this the algo in here. It's just we should be charging a lot more than we do, but what we want is we just want to grow. We want to reach more people. When you guys refer people to TrueWealthFormula.com, it's a huge help and blessing for us because we don't really do any advertising at all. I try to run a pretty streamlined, tight operation, and advertising. You kind of, if you love the game and you don't mind being a social media monkey all day long and doing tricks all day long to please then that's great. But advertising is just insane. I'd much rather try to improve everything we're doing every single day. I'd rather take the Kaizen, constant, never-ending improvement approach and make our product, make our systems, make the algos, make the software, make the coaching, make the calls, make everything we do better and better and better and better and better and better and more and more and more and more valuable. And hopefully you guys will spread the word, have people pick up my book on Amazon, as an initial introductory. It's the only place you can get it. True Wealth Formula right here. If you're Chinese, you can even get it in Chinese or Arabic. It's in Chinese too. We have basically like 500 or 461. Okay, fine. 4.8. God, who didn't give me a 5-star? Little rat bastards. Okay. No, it's all good. It's pretty amazing. Like, that's as close to a 5-star as you're going to get. But these are great for giving out as gifts, and they're just super cheap. $3.99 for the Kindle version, $11.15 for the paperback. We don't do upsells. We don't bombard you. The only upsell we have is pro. We actually thought about getting rid of the premium membership completely, but I decided to keep it for now. And but really, we're just building the business around our pro MGC monthly group coaching membership. And it doesn't matter if you're a newbie or an expert, doesn't matter. Just get in and you'll learn, right? We've got an awesome community. You have access as a pro member to our group chat. I'm on there every day. We got other members, awesome members that are on there every day. And it's just super cool. But yeah, I mean, if we added up the value, like Karen's time and the fact that you guys could get on the phone with her and Andrea says, I love passive hands-off income for a change of a rough corporate grind. Yep. God is stealing me to better pastures. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Lenny, what's going on, brother? Love the MOAC. Yep. MOAC is awesome. MOAC is our wealth builder compound return. We call it, MOAC is like our nickname, mother of all calculators, but fun stuff. Okay. What else do we have here? Well, the tools we made on the iPhone app. You can access everything from a phone. We had an app forever, and it's still on there. I need to actually take it down, but doing development for Apple and Google and meeting all there. Every couple months they're changing their this and that. It's a pain in the ass. It's extra cost, extra time. It's just terrible. So last year I made the decision we're not going to develop the app anymore. We're going to do it on the web. It's a web app. You can save the app on your desktop, you can actually download it onto your desktop or onto your phone and access it. And it's the exact same thing as having it on the mobile or having it in the app store. Lenny says, kind of my reality. Every month there is a passive income raise. Yep. Thank you for this skill set. You bet, David. Glad you're here, brother. Also to help others in giving. Yes. Andrea, this is good. How dare my ancestors judge my expenses when they left me penniless in this world? Oh my God. That's the best comeback I've ever heard. That's true. Okay, Lenny, because I've been receiving drip for 6 years, even during this 20% drop bear market, I was still way ahead in the money. Meanwhile, my divvies got automatic raises because there was a 20% price drop. Yep. Yeah, freaking amazing. I saw you post that the other day in the pro MGC group chat, Lenny, and very, very cool, man. Let's see here. Oh, thanks, Alan. Alan is tagging others that, yeah, we'll leave this replay up on Facebook. So if you guys know people, send them to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Hans Johnson Live. And they can watch this and, learn about what we're doing. Lenny says, I hope. Hi, Simonette. Ireland. Yeah. Very cool. Ireland was Simonette flew out to we did a TWF event in last September. It was freaking awesome, and had a bunch of clients there. It was so cool. And Simonette, all the way from Ireland, was there. I hope it's not over. I think Lenny's talking about the bear market. Honestly, lower it goes or longer it stays, lower quicker to the day I retire. Yep, that's how it works. Boom, boom, boom. Guys, if you are TWF and you are in the system and you are in the community and you are working with us, right? Engaged, you're not going to have fear about markets. You're not going to be afraid of the stock market. Okay? You'll be excited about it, right? That's a superpower, guys. This is not like, okay. Debbie's asking, does anyone know how to record a session with Karen? In order to recall, we'll use, Loom, Loom. You can record your screen and you can, do that. You can also ask Karen if she can send you a recording. What? Okay. Danny's book was awesome too. Yeah, she has several awesome books. Nice one, Alan. Uses the old phone. Okay, no questions, guys. We are here to let you. Lenny says, we are here to let you know this is normal. This is part of the game. Keep playing. Yep. Absolutely, guys. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Drop them. This is it. I'll be here for another few minutes. It was an amazing event in Dallas. The best decision to join TWF of my life. Awesome. No fear and know what I am doing. It is a game changer for me. Thanks, Hansa team. Yeah, that's awesome, Simon. Very, very cool. All right. Well, yeah, Loom is awesome, guys. Anytime you have screen work stuff, if you have a technical issue or even a question with your Wealth Builder app, just use Loom to record it. Send it over to Karen via email, support@twfsystems.com. And, Loom gives free accounts. I don't know if they limit it to 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that, but, you can also record. I think Zoom has free accounts that can record, I'm pretty sure. So you can look into that as well. And you can do screen recordings and screen shares and things like that. Simon, what do you think will happen to crypto in the coming months, Ripple and XRP? I don't know, guys. Crypto, it rises and falls with Bitcoin, as far as I see it. But, whether those other protocols, where they go, OBS will record as well, but OBS is what a pain that is to get set up and work. At least my results with it, I'm sure I'd have to spend more time. But anyway, crypto, it's speculation. So I don't think there's any crypto in my mind that I would feel comfortable holding a lot in and just holding it forever and thinking that it's going to be there, including Bitcoin, by the way. I don't know that. I mean, right now, Bitcoin's looking really good, and I'm pro Bitcoin. I love it. But what I'm not for is people who aren't willing to consider risks and downside. And so I tend to often, when it comes to crypto and Bitcoin, I will often talk about the downside or the risks, or emphasize the things that nobody else is talking about. Because you get people into this mind frame and in this mode where, they just think that there's no downside. Well, that's not life. Everything has downside. I mean, in the case of Bitcoin, it 99.9% absolutely was created by US Intel. Okay. Whether that was the CIA or the NSA or whatever, that's where it came from. Okay. The I have some thoughts about a lot of the original people that got in, and how and why that happened. But, Bitcoin in a lot of ways has served a really good role at desensitizing and acclimating people to the idea of crypto and digital assets. Okay. But there's some risks out there, quantum computing, EMP attacks, nuking data. Most people don't know how to properly store Bitcoin. If you're storing it on an exchange, and you have anything of value in it that you feel is important to you, you have to realize, if you have Bitcoin on an exchange, you're in fiat. You realize that, right? Because there's no audit that proves they're actually holding what they say and this and that. You're basically in fiat. Like if you're holding crypto on Coinbase or whatever. Now, I'm not saying like you can have a little bit on there or whatever, but if you're telling me that you believe the Bitcoin story, and that it is it is digital gold, and that it's going to be around forever, and that it's going to preserve and protect wealth against inflation, and all these things that are, I believe as well. I don't know that it'll be around forever, but then you're holding it on, and it's hard money. It's got limited supply, and on and on and on it goes. And you're holding it on an exchange. You might do your buys on an exchange, but you need to be keeping it in cold storage, because if you have it on an exchange, you're in fiat. You're not in crypto. You're not in Bitcoin. You just have a screen that tells you some number. I mean, that's the same thing that happens at your bank. And then you go in, and like if you have $100,000 or $1 million in the bank, or even 10,000, try and go withdraw your 10,000 all at once. They crap their pants. They make you fill out suspicious forms. They ask you questions. They freak out. They go get a manager, because they don't hold all that cash. It's fake. So, there's a lot of stuff going on in the crypto world, and Bitcoin included, between the ETFs. ETFs are to create liquidity. They are to dilute an existing asset base. Look at what the ETFs did to the price of gold and silver. That is what it is. That's my take on it. Quantum computing is a thing. That's a risk that Bitcoin's going to have to deal with. It needs the grid in some form or another. In theory, you could transfer through just two devices, but those devices are going to have some digital connection to do that, or some, Bluetooth, or plug into each other, or whatever. But there's so many things that make crypto amazing. Portability, insane, unbelievable portability. It's volatile as hell. So, okay. What about the SEC case with Ripple? The SEC is corrupt as hell. That's a buy-off thing. They're just negotiating. They want to get paid by somebody. I don't know. I don't follow Ripple close enough to know, tell you about all the details on that, but they just whatever, man. If they get paid enough money, they'll freaking do nothing about it. And it all, whatever. It depends on what the system wants done. I don't know. I'm not there's a lot of scams in crypto, guys. You got to be careful with that. Okay. 99% of them are freaking scams. So there's a real learning curve. You need to know like what the asset is, what the positives and negatives are, and how to manage that asset. If you're good at self custody, uh, that's got its own risks. So you got to learn that. Okay. Um, yeah, solar flare, EMP. So you want it on cold storage, Do you want something to hit and freaking Coinbase to tell you we're sorry, our system's down and this and that? No, you got to learn. You got to get a good Trezor wallet, or I know there's others out there now. And even those to me make me a little nervous. So there are some risks, right? But otherwise, pretty freaking insane. I love the way that we're playing it. Our pro members and the uh, this new course that we did here, the F around and find out portfolio, staying alive portfolio. Man, that thing's freaking smoking right now. Okay. I mean, we got some stuff that's really, really just doing amazing stuff. It's fun. Very, very cool. Okay. What else do we have going on? Any other questions? Okay. Well, guys, I hope you had fun here today. If there's a final question, put it in now so I can answer it. But you know, uh, that's kind of what I see. Kind of told you the next couple weeks what I see with the market. I think it's just going to be kind of like chopping a little bit, barring some news event or some tweet that Trump puts out. A couple days ago, he said he told everybody to buy the market, which he did on this day when it just moonshot. So you got a lot of, I don't really like that. I think that's that's manipulation of the markets and insiders and signals. And I just think that that's not cool to be doing that. But it is what it is. So Trump's never going to not be a salesman. He loves to sell and market and pump and troll. And, but he's Trump thrives when people underestimate him, when people think he's stupid. Trump is anything but stupid. And so I kind of laugh. I think it's funny when I see a lot of these people saying all kinds of stuff, but doesn't mean I don't have my own complaints or gripes or annoyances with the way that they do stuff. I hate it when they're pump and dumping these crypto schemes and, NFTs and all their nonsense that he and his family do. I just don't think that's right to do to the public, but it is what it is. So I love and appreciate the other stuff that they're trying to do. And I think it's really brave to try and get the ship turned around before it's too late, and to do it voluntarily. Most systems do not voluntarily reform. They have to crack. They have to crash and burn first before they reform. They have to collapse. They have to hit the freaking wall. So, we'll see how this turns out. Okay, guys. You bet. Simon, thank you. Okay, guys. God bless. TrueWealthFormula.com for anybody that's here for the first time, and get yourself signed up. You get information on the following page, where you'll get info on, you watch more video, me and Lenny talking about the system, but you'll find out what you get access to. I probably need to update this here, but been busy lately. A lot of stuff going on, so a lot more to do too. Okay, guys. Have a great weekend. It's Mother's Day this weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. God bless you, and thank you for your diligence and tireless efforts. And the world would not be what it is without good moms. There's plenty of bad ones out there, but have a good weekend this weekend, guys, and reach out for those of you that are members anytime, and keep an eye out for an email. I should be sending that here in the next few minutes. All right. Thanks, guys. God bless. Goodbye.